Hey, what up, everybody? Steviebreech coming to you. I got to do a little Royal Rumble 2012 prediction video for you here. Haven't made a prediction video in a good while, so hopefully this works out pretty well. But hopefully everybody was able to check out the video Yaya and I made, part one of our retrospect of past Royal Rumbles. Hopefully we'll be able to knock out part two tonight and get through all the really good years. First years we did was all the really slow years where you start out with your Hacksaw win, your Big John Studd win, your two Hogan wins. We talked about the Warrior title change over to Sergeant Slaughter that built up WrestleMania. But lots and lots of good stuff in there, lots of good memories. Make sure you check that out if you can. There'll be a link down in the description box for you. Royal Rumble has turned into I don't know. The Royal Rumble is not what it used to be. I mean, when somebody won the Royal Rumble, it was a big deal. I mean, it still is. And you walk out of there, you know that person's going to be getting a shot for the title of their choosing at WrestleMania, and it's just not what it used to be. I mean, it used to be the main event spot. I mean, it was a really big deal. When like Shawn Michaels won his first Royal Rumble, that was a real, monumental occasion that everybody really remembers. It used to be you're the number one contender at the biggest show of the whole year, and it just sort of seems like a lot of people like to point fingers at the Elimination Chamber for taking that away. I'm not the biggest fan of the Elimination Chamber, uh, setting up the other number one contender spot, but I'm not saying it's a horrible match. I just think that would be a better match, for a title match situation. I think that's just it. That not, instead of being like a number one contender, you go through hell in an elimination chamber match in order to get there. So I wouldn't mind if that got pushed back later in the year. But I do understand that it is a big draw to see what it is, for WrestleMania. So I do understand why they do it. Last year when I went to Elimination Chamber, I saw John Cena win the main event, which set up, him going to WrestleMania to fight for the title once again against The Miz. And it wasn't honestly until I was watching Raw the next night that I really realized that he was the number one contender for WrestleMania. I guess through all the hoopla and everything like that, it just didn't click, didn't make sense to me. But all in all, I'm surprised with this year not having that many matches. Last year was a 40-man Rumble. They had 10 more contestants. That's 20 more minutes of matches, but we still have the same number of matches this time. No Divas match this year though, but we get two title matches and one singles match. First singles match is John Cena versus Kane. I'm gonna say that I don't think there's any way in the world I don't see Cena winning this. I think that both of these guys are going to be in the elimination chamber for the Raw side, no matter if it's a championship match or a number one contenders match, which doesn't really make sense to me why Cena would be in a number one contenders match, which is the one reason why I want to pick somebody from Raw to win the Rumble. Because I would think that it has to be a championship match with his dream of trying to make Cena versus Rock for the champion. Championship, a big deal. If Cena doesn't win the championship, which I don't think he's going to. That's one thing for The Rock sort of, to point his finger at and sort of put down John Cena by saying that he couldn't keep the title. Because I believe the last time we saw both of them together was when John Cena put the belt in front of Rock at his birthday, and he said that, it is going to be my job to keep this title, to make sure that our match at WrestleMania can be a championship match. And that could be one Rock's one way of putting Cena down is saying that he wasn't able to keep the title, so The Rock's dream of being the champion is not going to happen, but he's still going to whoop Cena's ass at WrestleMania. Um, that's basically what I think. So basically, I'm picking Cena to beat Kane. Hopefully, this feud will be over. No more Zack Ryder crap. No more John Cena crap. Just go ahead and get it over. Everybody in the world knows you're not going to turn heel. I don't understand why people are buying into this, but I'm not, and it's not fun. But Cena to beat Kane. We'll go with the Raw match. We'll go CM Punk against Dolph Ziggler. Um, Basically, I think Punk's gonna win. I don't think that they're gonna. There's one way you can do it is you can have Punk on the chase for WrestleMania, but a lot of the talk is for Punk to be fighting Jericho. I don't really think that Jericho is gonna win the title before WrestleMania. So my guess is that Punk would stay the champion. That's my only way. Hopefully Dolph Ziggler can find himself in a high caliber match for WrestleMania. Last year he was in the match with Jersey Shore, Snooki, and Trish Stratus, and so on and so forth with Lay Cool, which was a pretty good high profile spot for him to be in because a lot of people got to see him if they wanted to check Snooki out. Um, if they want to check Snooki out, then they got to see him. So that's a good spot for him to be in. But hopefully he can be in a more, wrestling style of match because I believe that Ziggler's been one of the best wrestlers they have out there today. So hopefully he doesn't get buried. This is the second time in a row he has had a title match at the Royal Rumble last year. This spawned off of him winning the championship that he held for 15 minutes on SmackDown before dropping it back to Edge. But he's in a much better spot this year, and I think that Dolph Ziggler has to easily be one of the most improved wrestlers, but not even really most improved. I think he's doing the same thing he was doing before, but maybe one of the most noticed wrestlers out there, I guess. They actually, found out what this guy can do, and they're trusting him, and they're giving him the ball, and he's coming up big. So, big ups to Dolph Ziggler for getting into this spot again. But I'm picking CM Punk for the win. And then we have the triple threat steel cage match for the World Heavyweight Championship of SmackDown. Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and the Big Show. I read yesterday something about Mark Henry getting hurt, which is really no big deal for me, but I guess it's a big letdown for the locker room because of how much Mark Henry has helped out the SmackDown Brown. He's probably, if not for Ziggler, one of the most improved guys. The booking committee actually made this guy a monster, pushed him up. He won the championship for the first time, and it would be nice to reward him with a WrestleMania match, but it looks like he has some sort of injury where he's not going to be go on. But he's been working through an injury before, so I don't think there's any way in the world he's not going to work this match. They'll probably just find some way to take him out and write him off for the next go wild, and there's no easier way to do it than a steel cage match. Daniel Bryan for the win here. Daniel Bryan to lose the title at Elimination Chamber. That's my guess. So I mean, that's just about all I have to say there for you. I think Big Show, when he won the title and he dropped it, and the seconds that he had it, was good for him. He'll probably have a championship run before so long, but I just don't see it happening tonight. I think they're establishing Daniel Bryan as a heel on SmackDown, and I don't think they want to drop a title on him that fast. Now, over to the 30-man Royal Rumble match. It's going to be hard to pick somebody to win this. The Miz is going to be coming out number one. I honestly think the Miz is not going to win this, but I do think that the Miz is going to at least be in the final four. I think that he's going to have a good showing at the Royal Rumble. I think he is somebody that they can believe in to be in the match for a long time. And it's always fun to see somebody come out to be number one, number two, number three, and make it all the way to the end. I'm not picking the Miz to win, but I am picking the Miz to stay in there for a long damn time. I'm gonna pick somebody from Monday Night Raw to win, mainly for the one reason that I was talking about earlier. I don't want to see John Cena in a number one contenders match. Uh, when he's not going to be the number one contender. He's not going to. He always already has the match set up with Rock, and the Rock's not going to win the title anytime now. So I mean, there's no reason to make people believe that he's going to fight the Rock and fight the WWF champion at the same time. That just doesn't make sense, and it's just not going to happen. So that means they would be able to put him in the Elimination Chamber match, which is a title match, and you could make believe that he's actually going to have a chance to win the title. That would make the SmackDown, their Elimination Chamber would be for the number one contendership or whatever. But there's a lot of guys on SmackDown that I want to pick. I think that Wade Barrett's got a good chance. I think Sheamus has got a good chance. Randy Orton's going to have a hell of a strong showing in his hometown. But I mean, I would bet if I watch 10 prediction videos in a row, they're all going to be for the same person. Mr. Luke Cage might finally get it right. I think Chris Jericho is going to be the guy to pick for the Royal Rumble. I think he is going to pull it off, and I think what they're doing with Jericho is they wanted him to have a big impact when he came in. They wanted people to view his debut on Raw and it be something that you debuted him for. They didn't want him just to do a running out of the back and attack CM Punk and establish himself as a heel. I think what they're doing with these things with him coming out and doing his whole not being able to talk and doing the whole cheering with the fans thing is make you think that he's a face, and you're really establishing that in your mind. That way when he finally comes out and he attacks CM Punk and he turns heel, that you're able to get all those emotions rolled into one, and you're actually going to care that this guy's attacking somebody. On a side note, this is the worst pay-per-view poster picture of all time. Santino with the golden crystal ball. I don't think this is anything anybody cares about, and it sucks.